Hi, my name is Robbie and you are welcome back to my channel. In this section, I will be explaining how to get the maximum and the minimum point of a quadratic function. Let's dive right into it. Now, what is meant by a quadratic function? Every quadratic function is given by this general equation. So, this is y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. What is my variable? My variable x. So it tells me that I can only have the value of y if I know my variable x. That is why it's a function. So it tells us that f of x is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. That is what it means. But I'm not going to be using f of x, I'll be using y. So we are going to use this general quadratic function to discuss the minimum and the maximum points. Now, let's continue. So now, I will give you two rules that we are going to follow. Rule 1. If a is greater than 0, it means the function has a minimum value. So when a is greater than 0, you will have a minimum value for y. That is what it says here. So for an example, if I have y is equal to 2x squared plus 3x minus 6. In this case here, what is our a? Our a is 2, our b is 3, and our c is minus 6. So what is a? A is 2. So that means 2 is greater than, because we are saying a is a greater than 0. So our a is 2 and is greater than 0. So therefore, we can have minimum value of y. That is the only value we can have for y, minimum. There is no maximum value here because a is greater than 0. Okay. Rule 2. If a is less than 0, it means the function has a maximum value, that is y max. So for an example, y is equal to 3x minus 2x squared plus 7. In this case, I want to rearrange because I want it to start with x squared. So if I rearrange this one here, it's starting with x squared. So that is minus 2x squared. Then, remember, imaginary plus is there, plus 3x plus 7. So here, what is my a? My a is minus 2, my b is 3, and my c is 7. So here, minus 2 is less than 0, right? Minus 2 is less than 0. So in this case, I can only have maximum value of the function. So when you are given a quadratic function, you can immediately see if it is the minimum value you can get for the function or the maximum value you can get for the function. But how do we do this? Let me show you in this example now. Now, let's take this question. It says, what is the minimum value of 3x squared minus 2x plus 1, and for what value of x does it occur? Now, we are looking for the minimum value of that function, of this function. Remember, they said minimum value, okay? Why did they say minimum value? Why didn't they say maximum value? Okay, so the function is 3x squared minus 2x plus 1. That is what they've given us, right? Okay, here, what is a? My a is 3, my b is minus 2, and my c is 1. So our a is 3. A is greater than 0 because our a is 3, because 3 is greater than 0. So here, remember the first rule. When a is greater than 0, it's only minimum point you can get for the function. That is why they are asking you to find the minimum point. Okay, so now we know why they're asking us for the minimum point. But how do we solve minimum value or maximum value? The only way you can get the minimum value or the maximum value of a quadratic function is by using two methods. The first one is completing the square method, which is what I've taught you in the previous video. For those of you that have not seen my previous video on completing the square method, click on the top right hand corner of this video. The second method is calculus, and that method I'm going to take you when we get to the subject calculus. It's not going to be in this video. So we are only able to apply the first method, which is the completing the square method, to solve minimum and maximum value of a quadratic function. Now, let's do that. So, I want to use completing the square method for this. So, what I will do here, I will write 3x squared minus 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. So, I would do it normally, the way I use completing the square method to solve quadratic equation. So, in this case, I have 3x squared minus 2x. I can take plus 1 to the other side. So that is minus 1, right? And for you to apply completing the square method, remember that the coefficient of the variable with the highest power must be 1. So I divide through by 3. Divide through by 3. Divide through by 3. So this is x squared minus 2 over 3. X is equal to minus 1 over 3. So here, you will have the new coefficient of x. My coefficient of x, as far as I know, here now is minus 2 over 3. You have it. So that is minus 1 over 3. And you square it and add to both sides. So this is x squared minus 2 over 3x. I'm adding what to both sides? This is something as 1 over 3 squared. So I'm adding 1 over 3 square to both sides. So I'm adding it to the left hand side and I'm adding it to the right hand side. Okay? So here, you already know how to do this. So this is 1 over 3 squared. So yeah, so that is squared, yes, is equal to minus 1 over 3 plus 1 squared is 1 and 3 squared is 9. Okay, so here I can write x minus 1 over 3 all squared is equal to, this is 9. So 3 in 9, that is 3 times minus 1, that is minus 3, plus 9 in 9, 1 times 1, that is 1. There. So here I have x minus 1 over 3 squared is equal to minus 3 plus 1, that is minus 2 over 9. Okay, so here I have x minus 1 over 3. Now there's a trick here, there's a trick here, minus 2. Remember, 9 is same thing as 3 squared. Okay, you always take this denominator, you always square it, always. That is 3 squared. Okay, so let me quickly bring that here now to finish up. So this is x minus 1 over 3 all squared is equal to minus 2 over 3 squared, right? Let me rewrite it very well so it's easier for us to follow through. Okay, so let's bring it here so you see it. So x minus 1 over 3 squared is equal to minus 2 over 3 squared, right? So that is x minus 1 over 3 squared is equal to minus 2. Remember, 3 squared is 3 times 3. Okay, so I would take one of the 3 here. So that is 3 bracket x minus 1 over 3 squared is equal to minus 2 over 3. You get that now? You know, this is 3 times 3. So one of the 3 is here now. And one of the 3 is there. So this is 3 bracket x minus 1 over 3 squared. Now let's bring this to the other side. That is plus 2 over 3 is equal to 0. Right. So now my function y is equal to this one here is still the same thing as this here. So I'll write 3 bracket x minus 1 over 3 squared plus 2 over 3. You can see that now. Because I'm putting the function here now, you don't have to put anything 0. So here, my minimum value of y and my x value is, now see, the minimum value is always what you have here. Always what you have there. So, and that is plus 2 over 3, which is still 2 over 3. Now, your x value is always the opposite of this. The opposite of minus 1 over 3 is plus 1 over 3. Easy. Now, don't worry. I'm going to give you a short method for this. But this is the normal method. But I'll give you the short method for this. So you don't have to worry about going through this process. Now, let's go through the short method. Now, let me show you the shortest way of applying the completing the square method. So you have y is equal to 3x squared minus 2x plus 1. Remember, before you can apply completing the square method, the variable having the highest power, the coefficient must be 1. But here is 3. So in your mind, okay, let's write it somewhere here first so you can understand what I'm saying. Let's say it's equal to 0. So divide through by 3. If you divide through by 3, this we cancel this. So x squared minus 2 over 3x plus 1 over 3 is equal to 0. That is what you are going to get. So now, here, just write this 3 here, bracket, write what you have here now. X squared minus 2 over 3x plus 1 over 3. Okay. Now, the next thing you want to do is y is equal to 3. I'm going to use this kind of brackets, okay? Square brackets. So I'll write x squared minus 2 over 3x. Now I will leave space. I'll write plus 1 over 3. The reason why I'm leaving space, I will tell you now. Okay? Now, remember, this is power 1, this is power 2 here. So, completing the square method says you want to multiply, or you want to halve the new coefficient of x. So the new coefficient of x is the coefficient of the variable having power of 1. The variable having power of 1, the coefficient is minus 2 over 3. So I want to halve it. Okay? So I will halve minus 2 over 3. So if I halve it, this will cancel this. I have minus 1 over 3. Then half it and square it. So I will square it now. So if I remember, minus squared is minus times minus. So I can still write 1 over 3 all squared. So this is what I'm going to add here now. Plus 1 over 3 squared. And here you are going to use the opposite. Minus 1 over 3 squared. You can see that now. I added it here, but here I'm putting the opposite. What I've just done is that if I have 2 plus 3 now is equals to, if I have 2 plus 3, for an example, if I have 2 plus 3, okay? Let's say I have 2 plus 3. This is what I have. So if I had plus 2 here, and I had minus 2, plus 2 minus 2 is 0. So I still have x plus 3. So it doesn't mean anything. It just says that I'm just balancing what I have. So if you had 1 over 3 squared here, you will subtract it 1 over 3 squared there. So y is equal to 3. Now, in this case, remember, I have x squared and I have 1 over 3 squared. So I can say x minus times plus is minus. That is 1 over 3 all squared. Or the coefficient of x with the power 1, what is the sign? The sign determines what is in the bracket. The sign is negative, so it determines what is in the brackets. Okay? So this one here is this. Then plus. This is 1 over 3 minus 1 over 9. Right? Good. So this is 3 square bracket x minus 1 over 3 squared plus. This is 9. How many can you get? A 3. Then minus 1. Right? So y 3. So this is x minus 1 over 3 squared plus 2 over 9. Now, in this case, I have to use 3 to multiply this one. I want to open the bracket. So that is 3 bracket x minus 1 over 3 squared plus 3 times 2 over 9. 3 times 2 over 9. 3 here 1, 3 here 3. So that is 2 over 3. So that is 2 over 3. So in this case now, minimum value of y will be what is here, and that is plus 2 over 3 at what value of x? At x is equal to, what is the opposite of this one here? Opposite of minus 1 over 3 is plus 1 over 3, which was the same answer we got when I used the other method, or the long method. Now, let's take another question. Find the minimum value of the function 2x squared minus x minus 1. So I will say y is equal to 2x squared minus x minus 1. Here, a is equal to 2, right? So it simply means my 2 is greater than 0. So that is why we are looking for minimum value of y. So you understand that. So now, let's apply the completing the square method. But remember, I told you, you just write what you have here first. Okay, is equals to 0. Divide through by the coefficient of the variable with the highest power. So you are dividing through by 2. Okay, divided through by 2. So this will cancel this. So this is x squared minus 1 over 2. X minus 1 over 2 is equals to 0. So come back here, right? Y is equal to, what is the coefficient of the variable with the highest power? 2. Then you open a square bracket. Then you write everything you have here. You write it here. So x squared minus 1 over 2x minus 1 over 2. Okay? So now, remember what I told you, okay? You are going to write x squared minus 1 over 2x. You leave space and you write what you have here. You write it here. And you leave space. The reason why you're leaving space, you already know, but I will show you here now. So now, you want to have the new coefficient of x. The new coefficient of x is the coefficient of the variable x having power of 1. This variable x having power of 1, what is the coefficient? The coefficient is minus half. So you want to half minus half. So that is minus 1 over 4. Then you want to square it. So if you square it, that is minus 1 over 4. Minus 1 over 4 square. So it is still 1 over 4 square. Because minus square is minus times minus. So 1 over 4 square, you want to add it here. 1 over 4 squared. And that same 1 over 4 squared, you want to subtract it here. Okay? So that is why you have put space. So y is equal to 2. Now, this is x squared. And this is 1 over 4 squared. So x and 1 over 4 squared. So x squared, 1 over 4 squared. Remember, the sign here is determined by the sign of the coefficient of x having power of 1. So the sign here is minus, so I put minus here. Then you have minus 1 over 2 minus 1 over 4 squared, that is 1 over 16. Okay? So 2 square bracket x minus 1 over 4 squared. So minus here. 16 is the LCM. 2 in 16, 8. This is 1. Okay? So y is 2. This is x minus 1 over 4 squared. Okay? So here, that is, I have minus, this is minus 8 minus 1. That is minus 9 over 16. Now, let's open the brackets. This multiply this. That is 2 bracket x minus 1 over 4 squared minus 2 times 9 over 16. 2 times 9 over 16. 2 here 1, 2 here 8. So that is 9 over 8. So this is 9 over 8. No square brackets. 9 over 8. So here, y minimum is the value here, which is minus 9 over 8. At what value of x? The opposite of this. And the opposite of that, the opposite of minus 1 over 4 is plus 1 over 4. Easy. We are going to take another question, so you have a deep understanding of this. Now, let's take this question. Find the maximum value of the function 2 minus 4x minus x squared. So my function y is 2 minus 4x minus x squared. before you do anything, remember that your general function, your quadratic function, this, you need to make sure that this is in the same form with this. And this one means that the variable with the highest power, x squared, is starting the equation. And so that is, this one needs to start. After that, it goes to the variable of 1, and it goes to the variable with the power of 1. So this one needs to follow, then plus c, then this. So I can write this as y is equal to minus x squared first, minus 4x, and plus 2. So now, we can now start. You see here that the variable having the highest power is having minus. Whenever you have a case like that, divide through by minus. Divide through by minus. So if I divide through by minus, this is the same thing as divide through by minus 1. So minus 1, minus 1, minus 1. So this will be minus y is equal to x squared plus 4x minus 2. So this is what we have now. So it's like you are just multiplying this by minus 1. So minus 1 times y, minus 1 times minus x squared, that is plus x squared, minus 1 times minus 4x, that is plus 4x, minus 1 times plus 2, that is minus 2. So let me just take this off. So that is what I've done. So this is what we have now. Okay, so now let's apply the completing the square method. Remember here that the coefficient of x is already 1. So it's easy. So I will just say minus y is equal to, write x squared plus 4x. I leave space. You know why I'm leaving that space? Then minus 2. Then I leave space. So you are going to half the new coefficient of x. What is the coefficient of x? The new coefficient of x is the x having power 1. What is the coefficient? Plus 4. So plus 4 is the same thing as 4. I'm going to halve this one, which is the same thing as this. I'm having 2. Then square it. Then I will add this to here. 2 squared. And I will add also, I will put the opposite. Plus 2, so I will put the opposite there. Like the way we normally do it. So this is minus y is equal to, then I'll write, this is x squared, that is x, then squared outside. Then this is 2 squared, so 2 squared outside. Remember, the sign here is determined by the coefficient of the x having power of 1. So what is the sign here? Plus. I put plus here. Then, so everything here is this already. So I go to minus 2 minus, what is 2 squared? 2 squared is what? 4. So minus y is equal to x plus 2 squared minus 2 minus 4, that is minus 6. Then there is minus y here, so multiply through by minus, because I want only y to be here. So multiply through by minus means minus 1 times minus y, that is y, because minus times minus. Then minus 1 times this here, that is minus bracket x plus 2 here, right? Then minus 1 times minus 6, that is plus 6. Okay, so here y maximum is equal to the value here, as we always know, plus 6 at what value of x? At x is equal to the opposite of plus 2 minus 2. So that is that. Now let's take this question. Find the maximum value of the function that. So my function is 5 minus x minus 2x squared. Remember that it has to be written in form of this, okay, where I want x squared to start. So which is this one here, then this one here. So my y is equal to minus 2x squared, so minus x plus 5. Now, because I have a negative in front of x squared, I want to get rid of that negative, so multiply through by minus 1. So minus 1 times y, that is minus y. Minus 1 times minus 2, that is 2x squared. Minus 1 times minus x, that is plus x. Minus 1 times plus 5, that is minus 5. Okay, so we can now take this and apply our normal completing the square. Okay? Okay, so here, divide through by 2, because before you can apply completing the square, the coefficient of the variable having the highest power must be 1. So this cancels this. So this is x squared plus 1 over 2x minus 5 over 2 is equals to 0. So, as I've told you before, you have 2 here, right? You write 2, then you open a square bracket. Then you write everything that you have here in the square bracket. So x squared plus 1 over 2x minus 5 over 2. The reason why you have done that is that if I say 2 times x squared, it will be 2x squared plus 2 times 1 over 2x, it will be x minus 2 times 5 over 2, it will be 5. So easy. So that is why I'm showing you through that way. So minus y is equal to 2 square bracket. Now, you write x squared plus 1 over 2. You leave space. Minus 5 over 2. Then you leave space. You know why you are leaving the space? Half the new coefficient of x. The new coefficient of x is the coefficient of x variable having power of 1. So the new coefficient of x is plus half. So plus half. If you multiply, that is 1 over 4. And you want to square it and add. So you're adding 1 over 4 squared here. And you are putting the opposite of 1 over 4 here, as we always do. So this is minus y is equal to 2. Now, this is x squared. So x, put the square here. And this is 1 over 4 squared. So this is 1 over 4 squared. Remember, the sign you put here is determined by the sign of the coefficient of x having the power 1, which is plus. So I have plus here. Okay, this is minus 5 over 2 minus 1 over 4 squared, that is 1 over 16. Okay, so minus y, 2. This is x plus 1 over 4 squared. So let's quickly do this one. Minus 5 over 2 here, minus 1 over 16. So 16 here is what? 8. 8 times minus 5, minus 40. 16 and 16 is 1. With that is minus 1. So it's minus 1, minus 41 over 16. So minus 41 over 16. So minus y. Remember, you can use multiply by 2. You open the bracket. This is 2x. This is 2 bracket x plus 1 over 4 squared minus 2 times 41 over 16. If you multiply it by 2, this is 1 and this is 8. That is minus 41 over 8. Minus 41 over 8. Okay, remember that there is a negative here, so you can multiply through by -1 because you don't want to have a negative here. So -1 times -y, that is y. -1 times 2, that is -2, bracket x plus 1/4 squared. Then -1 times -41/8, that is plus 41/8. So in this case here, y maximum is this value, that is plus 41/8, at what value of x? The opposite of plus 1/4, which is -1/4. Easy. Wow, congratulations to you. You were able to stay to the end of this video. In my next video, I will be explaining more on construction of quadratic equation using the advanced formulas, alpha and beta. Hope to see you in my next video. Bye for now.